Welcome to the class of Social Science. Today we are going to discuss about civics, chapter number 1, part 1 for class 9. The name of the chapter is Democracy in the Contemporary World. I repeat, Democracy in the Contemporary World. Democracy in the Contemporary World. This is chapter number 1 of civics. In this chapter, what we are actually going to study. In this chapter, we will study about what is democracy. What are the various types of government we have in this whole world. What is the difference between democratic and non-democratic government? What actually happened in two cities, or we can say in two countries, that are Chile and Poland, and how did the democracy affect the work of the government? How do democracy help the citizens to live a peaceful and a happy life? And how did the government is made responsible for governing the nation properly and taking care of their citizens in comparison to the other form of governments like monarchy, dictatorship, arbitrary, republic, and other several types of governments. Now, in this chapter, we are also going to discuss about some important facts, especially the Chile and the Poland. These two cities are the countries were those where the public were actually got very frustrated about the chapters, of the content, the way the king and the ruler was behaving. So finally they protested against it and demanded for a democratic country. And how this democratic country was formed over there, we will discuss in this chapter. In the contents of this chapter, we will discuss about introduction of this chapter. Including that, we will also discuss about the types of comment in this introduction. Next topic will be related to the difference between democratic and non-democratic government. I repeat, difference between democratic and non-democratic government. Next point will be democracy. Now here we are going to discuss about democracy in detail. What is its meaning? What are the types of democracy we have in this world, and what is the importance of democracy in the life of any citizen of any country, and how did it impact on the life of other people or the other citizens of the country. Next point, that is the most important point, and usually you should know that about. It is the difference among monarchy, dictatorship and democracy. Students, these three special type of these three types of government we usually find in this whole world. Now 90% we can say all the countries are enjoying their democratic type of government. But still, in some countries, we still have the monarchy and the dictatorship too. Now, the people over there are doing revolutions. They are wanted to their own equal basis. Now, monarchy, as you all know, what do monarchy means? Monarchy means where a king is said to be the ruler and he used to take the decision for its citizens without involving anyone. Dictatorship is also the same like monarchy, but it is different from monarchy, as monarchy is related to the royal families in a heredity. From a king, then his son is going to inherit the property and he is going to become the second king. But in dictatorship, any military person, any army person takes the power of ruling the country. The next word is a democracy. Democracy, which is said to be to the people, by the people and for the people, means that where the individual citizen of the country uses the rights of vote and elect their representatives to form the government. Starting with the introduction of the chapter, as I have already told you, democracy stands for to the people, for the people and by the people, where the people used to govern the nation by electing their own representatives, through which they are able to see and check out the work properly time to time, what actually the government are doing for them. Now, apart from democracy, we have some different types of government also in this whole world. Now here you are able to see a chart which is showing you the types of government. The types of government that we have exist in this world. I repeat, types of government that exist in this world are democracy, dictatorship, republic, aristocracy, monarchy and anarchy. I repeat all the names again: democracy, dictatorship, republic, aristocracy, monarchy and anarchy. Now democracy is clear to you. What do you mean by dictatorship? Dictatorship is a type of government where a military person or an army person takes the ruling authority of the country on the basis of their strength, their power, their army. Next is republic. Republic, where the people used to all together make one leader, and that leader used to govern the nation. Next is aristocracy. Aristocracy actually stands for the high or rich level of class which used to enjoy some special type of benefits or rights since birth. Next is monarchy. Monarchy is a form of a government where the king or the royal authority used to govern the nation. Now lastly, that is anarchy. Anarchy is a form of government where the people takes the ruling authority of the state or of the country on the basis of weapons, where they are not eligible or they are not selected by anyone. Instead of that, they take on the charge of governing the nation. That is called anarchy. Now, let me tell you the difference between democratic and non-democratic type of government. Actually, democratic is quite different from non-democratic. As the words are clear to you, democratic, it means to the people, for the people and by the people. It is a famous, I can say, the statement given by Abraham Lincoln, the first president of America. And non-democratic, where the people or the government is not following the policy regarding that or related to the democracy. First point with the democratic form of government, look on your screen. The people are allowed to criticize the government. Now what does it mean? It means that people, as you all know, are able to vote for your government. They are able to elect their own representatives. As what we do in India, we used to participate in the elections, by which we used to monitor all the functions and the programs, the work they do by the representatives, by us. And whenever we find that it's not appropriate or it's not good for us, we used to criticize and say our words freely against that. Okay, so in this way it has been called that the people are allowed to criticize the government. Next point is workers are allowed to form independent trade union. It means that the people related to the business department, the business people, they can individually or in a group, independently, they can perform whatever the functions they want to perform regarding the trade process, and they can make their own committee also, as we are having the different types sort of committees related to the agriculture sector or the business sector, trade sectors, the textile industry. Same like here, they can perform or make their own independent trade unions. Next is political, economic and social equality is enjoyed by the people. Now what does it mean? It means that every person is being free to enjoy any sort of freedom whatever they want. Dear students, as I am a teacher, if I want to go in a political line, I want to become a leader to govern the nation. So in that scenario, I can go and easily apply for the post of a leader. How I can stand in election, and how I can stand in election, because as per the norms, the person for the election should be the individual Indian citizen, should be above at the age of 25, should not possess any of the government position. Earlier, only that person will be able to apply for the political post. Next is economic. As per your capability and as per your intelligence, your skills, whatever the duties you are performing, you are free to enjoy the economic status. The caste, color, creed, religion, they are not going to hamper anyone regarding your enjoyment. A person who is belonging to a scheduled caste family, but still if he owns a good position inside the country or in any business or any other sort of things, then obviously he or she will be enjoying the economic status too. As for example, take the forms of so many celebrities. We are having our own president who is belonging to the SC family, and still he is a president, and so as being the president, he is enjoying all the facilities whatever he used to enjoy. Now comes to the social equality. Now social equality means where every person is not being discriminated from any of the position. It means that if any person, just imagine I am a physically handicapped person, and if I have applied for any post and the people are denying me for giving the post. Why so? Because I am physically handicapped, my hand is not working or my leg is not working. So in that case, they cannot do with this thing to me. Why? Because as being in a democratic form of government, it's my right to enjoy the social equality inside the country. Next is freedom of press is granted. Now, do you remember in the French Revolution what happened? In the French Revolution, Maximilien Robespierre, what he did? He granted the press, freedom of the press. But in the Napoleon Bonaparte, what he did? He took away the freedom of press. In the democratic form of government, what again it had happened? It changed. It changed. The freedom of press was being granted to every person, and the press was being allowed to publish and to tell the people and make the people aware about what is going around inside the whole world and inside the country, and what sort of things or rules and regulations or any of the economic sector changes are occurred inside a country by a representatives. All the work which is being done by the representatives who are governing the nation, their work are being published in the newspaper, by which the people, the normal citizen who elected those representatives, are being able to know that what actually these representatives are doing in their work field. Next, rulers are elected by the people. Now, this is the most important thing, students, in the democratic form of government. Why it is said to be the most important thing? The reason behind it is that these people are being elected by the people. All the rulers are being elected by the people. No one is hampering those people. It means that whenever we go for the election, I'm just giving an example. We go for the election, we elect our own representative, whoever we like. And that representative, if that particular representative won the elections, what happens? He gets a position in the political field where he used to serve us. He used to take care of us and fulfill whatever the requirements we require from the government to fulfill. These all is being done and only by our election procedure. Next is your non-democratic type of government. Now, in the non-democratic type of government, the word is totally clear that the peoples are not allowed to criticize the government. They are being told to follow the policies of the government, whatever the government is making. Workers are not allowed from trade unions. Simple. The freedom is totally being taken off in the non-democratic government. Third one, there is no equality among people and they depend upon the mercy of the ruler. Obviously, the mercy will be there. Why mercy will be there? Because the king is doing whatever he wants to do. There is a non-type of democratic government, over there the people are not enjoying the freedom of equality and they have to look for the superiors for their judgments and their mercy, that whenever they will require, they will give us. Otherwise, they will snatch away the powers from us. Next is freedom of the press is denied. In that non-democratic type of government, the freedom of the press is totally denied because the press, as you have heard the phrase, pen is smarter than the sword. Why? Because a pen has a capability to make the people more aware about whatever is going on and make them more knowledgeable than anything else. So freedom of press was denied to make the people aware what is going inside the country, by which they can easily maintain peace and harmony as per their requirement. In this non-democratic type of government, rulers are not elected. It means no voting procedure is going on in the non-democratic type of government. Now here students, are you being able to clear with the democratic and non-democratic type of government? Yes. Now what is the difference between a democratic and non-democratic type of government? First, democratic, rulers are elected by the people. Second, rulers are in the non-democratic, rulers are not being elected by the people. Second, the people can criticize the government. In which field? Democratic or non-democratic? Right, democratic. In the democratic form of government, people can criticize the work of government. But in the non-democratic, people are not allowed to criticize the work of government. Next point will be that in the democratic sector, the democratic type of government, people are able to make their independent trade unions. But in non-democratic, they are not being allowed. Next will be political, social and economic equality is being enjoyed by the people in democratic type of government. But there is no sort of enjoyment or facility given to the people in the non-democratic type of government. Next, the most important and the last point, freedom of press is being granted in democratic government and it is denied in non-democratic type of government. So I hope democratic and non-democratic type of government is totally clear to you all. Now let me discuss with you all what is actually the democracy is. Democracy is the most desired form of government as it makes the government liable to the citizens for most of their actions. It means that democracy is that type of form of government where the government is totally responsible for their work, where the people, whoever been performing or taking part in the elections for choosing their representatives, the main burden or the main job profile of these representatives are to serve the nation, to serve the citizens of the people, to make them more developed than the previous era. So over here, whatever the function they are doing, whatever the work they are doing, it is all being inspected. So they are totally being liable for giving or providing the services. You can simply understand this as we are coming to the school, you all the students are coming to the school. What is the responsibility of the teacher is? The teacher's responsibility is to give you and provide you the education, as this school has elected the teachers. And being, if any teacher is not teaching you well, what you all do? You all simply protest against that. You say that this teacher is not teaching us well, so we want any other teacher to teach us, who can teach us very nicely and good. Why so? Why you are able to do so? Because this is a democratic form of government where you can avail your own rights easily and you can speak for them very easily. So in that case, what is going to happen? Obviously, the management and the principal sir is going to make the teacher replace from another one, by which you can get a peaceful environment to study and a good education for what actually you are coming here. Next is the transition from non-democratic to democratic country has not been very smooth and clear for most of the nations. Yes, students, this was actually, it has been said that the most important problem that came in this world was that there were several countries who were actually non-democratic, and when they were coming in the form of democratic, they were totally absent from the forms or what are the rules and the formation, how the democratic country is being formed. It actually was not clear with the clear of the scope that actually what democratic form of government is, and what actually we are being able to do in that sort of government. So this was the most important, that I can say, the trouble that the countries faced while changing their non-democratic to the democratic form of government. Next is, we can say simply in a form that democracy is a form of government that allows people to choose their own leaders. People have the freedom to express their views, freedom to organize, and freedom to protest against injustice. I repeat once again for you all, listen it very carefully, okay? I will repeat it very slowly and steadily for you all. Please make it clear in your mind. Democracy, hence, is a form of government that allows people to choose their own leaders. People have the freedom to express their views, freedom to organize, and freedom to protest against injustice. So what actually is being clear to you after reading this twice? It is clear that over here in the democracy, people enjoy some rights which is being not utilized in the non-democratic type of government. And what are those? Freedom to express their views, freedom to organize whatever they want to organize, and freedom to speak against the injustice. Same as I gave you the example, if the teacher, imagine if the teacher is coming in the class and she is not teaching you, or he is not teaching you, he is just wasting the time in making you having some games or some other things. But one day done, second day again done. Okay, 3-4 days continuously it is happening with you. So what will you do? You over there, you will stand up and you will say, "Sir, the teacher is coming to the class, but that teacher is not teaching us. Please take some actions against him." How you are able to speak? Because you have the right to protest against the injustice. Got the point now? Okay, the last line is what it says: the march of democracy has met with setbacks and successes throughout the history. I repeat, the march of democracy has met with setbacks and success throughout history. It means the democracy has coming from a long way. From which way is the democracy started? Anyone can tell me? Democracy started from the term of after the French Revolution that we did in the history. And how did it was possible? It was possible because of the three important things: fraternity, liberty, liberty and equality. And as these three conditions came over there, and after that, you all know when the National Assembly was formed and when the whole constitution was formed over there, it was a political scenario of active citizens who used to vote. And same like here in the democracy. So democracy is not just a new point for anyone. Democracy is coming from a longer duration of our time, where, and mostly the most important thing part is that every time whenever the democracy or regarding democracy the actions were taken, they were all in a beneficiary form. They came out with a good results where the people actually relaxed and felt themselves very convenient about it, and they left their life with very peacefully and happily. Now let's continue with the types of democracy on the basis of participation of the people in decision making. Now there are two types of democracy. We are having direct democracy and indirect democracy. Now actually what do you mean by direct and indirect? See students, this can be clear very easily by one example I am giving you. The first example, electing the Prime Minister. What actually we do for electing the Prime Minister? Prime Minister means when we are electing any government, the central government who will govern the nation. For that what we are having? We are having the Lok Sabha Chunav. Lok Sabha elections, remember that? So Lok Sabha elections, what are those Lok Sabha elections? In which every citizen is being participating for going for the voting for the adult franchise and taking the advantage of universal adult franchise. I repeat the word, universal adult franchise. They are selecting their own representative. Over there, what they actually are doing, they are coming in a direct form. Yes, we are giving the vote and the representative is coming to govern the nation. This is called a direct democracy. Okay, now here one more thing, that if he or she is not performing well over there, we can make them out and we can elect any other person or any other representatives very soon. Just giving an example, as it had happened with our late former Prime Minister, Mr. VP Singh. Mr. VP Singh was being elected, and as after his election, what actually happened? He took one wrong step. And what the wrong step was? That he focused each and every work, especially regarding to the SC and ST caste, because he was from the same caste category. And in that case, the rest part of the people, of the citizens of this country were hampered, and they were seriously against the policies made by Mr. VP Singh. Late Mr. VP Singh, who actually made some rules that which were actually not accepted by the people, and due to which he has to face so much of criticism against the government, and within a year he was being replaced, and another form, the BJP form government, came into existence again even after elections were again held for electing a new prime minister. Now, over here in direct democracy, every citizen is deciding that what actually they want. It means their basic opinion of every citizen is mandatory. As per their requirement only, the direct democracy used to help. You can take an example for this for Switzerland. Okay. Now, in the Switzerland over every citizen, whatever the citizens are saying, as per that only the rules and regulations will be formed. That is said to be the direct democracy. Now, in the indirect democracy, what does it mean? It means that citizens do not directly take part in the decision making. As we are having the parliament form of government over there, where the elections are done, obviously the people are taking part. But in some other elections also, the people are not taking part. As we are electing, as the representatives are electing, or indirect elections are being done for choosing the president and vice president. Did we elect our president? No. Did we gone for the election for the vice president? No. Never we goes. We only elect the prime minister. So in that case, the president and the vice president is being elected by the representatives whom we have chosen. So this is actually indirect form of democracy and indirect form of elections that we are taking part. But in the decision making also, the same thing is happening. Over there, we are giving actual authority to these people to take the decision on behalf of us. So they are actually taking decisions for us without asking us, because they know what is good for us and what is going to be more beneficial for us. Because whatever the elections are being made, whatever the elections are being done, the representatives whom we choose, when we choose the representative, means we trust them that these people are going to serve us properly, are going to provide us with good facility and good development and with a good living style, will end up the problem nicely and quickly as soon as possible they can. So usually we give up all the decisions making on them. You can take a small example of your family, your mom and dad. What actually they do? You really trust your mom and dad that whatever the actions they will take, whatever the steps they will take for you all will be good and the better one. So in that case, you are not interfering in their work. You know what my dad has said to me is going to be right for me. So I have to follow those rules and regulations. So same like here, in indirect democracy, we the people are electing the representatives. Over there, we are giving the rights to these representatives to perform functions, to take judgment, to take decisions regarding us, by which we can live peacefully and we can survive in a healthy environment. So for the indirect democracy, what sort of example you can apply here? You can apply the example of India. In the direct democracy, what sort of example you can give there? You can give the example of Switzerland. So what actually the direct and indirect democracy means? That in the direct, people directly take part to making the decisions, but in indirect, people do not take directly or do not do any sort of decision making. This is totally being done by the political representatives. Now, here citizens vote to accept or reject can be done. It means if they reject the laws, the rule will be rejected. If they accept the laws, the rule will be accepted. But over there, it's not been done in the indirect democracy. Why? Because over there we have already set the some rules and regulations that yes, these rules and regulations you have to follow as per. Even we are going to the constitutional time or constitutional norms or articles, whatever we are having, or we are going to the norms which we taken or decisions taken by the president or prime minister. What is going on right now during in the corona disease? The judgment is being taken, the decisions are being taken by the president and prime minister. The people has to go through the lockdown. They are not being allowed to move out their houses. Why so? Because it is for a beneficial. Did they came and ask every citizen over there that, see, we are going to put the lockdown and how many people are ready, please put up their hands? No, they didn't ask. They said, nurses say from this day onwards till this day, you are going to have lockdown. You have to stay back to your home if you really want to protect yourself from this dangerous disease. So this is sort of an indirect democracy, and it is only been done in India. For example, you can give it in India. Next, in the examples, if you want, in the indirect democracy, you can also give the example of America. Got that, students? Now in this, make sure direct and indirect democracy. In this direct and indirect democracy, make sure do not get confused with both the points. Direct democracy, peoples take the part in decision making. Indirect democracy, peoples don't take directly or participate in the decision making of the government, related to the government. In the direct democracy, every matter is being decided or based upon the opinion of the citizen. But in the indirect democracy, it is decided on the behalf of the electors by the representatives. Is it clear? Make sure. And another last, the most important examples also. Switzerland is an example of direct democracy, and indirect democracy, India is an example of indirect democracy. Now let's continue with the importance of democracy. Why we require democracy and what is the basic features of the democracy is, and what the democracy provides us. Democracy establishes and protects freedom. Obviously, democracy protects freedom. And how do the democracy protects freedom? Democracy protects freedom by giving equal rights to every citizen. Over there, they used to govern the nation or check out the rules and regulation very nicely. If we are able to give the freedom to speak something, obviously we are able to speak. But it doesn't mean that we will be able to give using abusive language to each other. This is allowed. No, this is not allowed. So it means that over there protects our freedom also. That if I am giving using good language, good way of speaking, obviously I'll be appreciated for that. But if that case, if I am using any abusive sort of language for others, obviously in that case the people are going to criticize me too, and it means may possible the government can also punish me out in the judgment judiciary sector. Yes, it can possible over there. Next is democracy protects minorities. Now who are the minorities? Do you remember in the 8th class you all did the what are the minority peoples? The minority peoples are the low class people. Low class people means in this usually the minorities, Muslims are coming. SC, ST, OBCs and other castes are coming in the minorities. The people who are totally fit and fine, and among them if we are having 5 to 6 disabled people, they are also being regarded as a minorities. Why so? Because they are being coming or facing the problem of discrimination. So over here democracy protects minorities also, because minorities are being also given equal rights and equal reputation and prestige as other people are getting or other class people are enjoying. Next is democracy control government power, preventing abuses of power. Now what does it mean? That means the same thing that democracy, in the democracy what we did in the types of democracy I explained to you. The people can criticize the government. It means they can inspect the work of the government. If the government is not doing or performing well or misusing their power, what the people can do? They can inherit or they can snatch away the powers or the representatives and elect their own new representatives. As I gave you the example of late Mr. VP Singh, a former Prime Minister, what he did? He just took a step and always thought about to give the SC and ST caste, OBC caste, a good beneficiary position. And for that, what he did? He took the position or took the step of giving them 100% reservation. Now in that 100%, what about the general category? What about the other people who are not coming to the SC, ST, OBCs? They are all hampered, and due to which they all revolted against him, and within a year his government was being put it down, and the new form of government came into existence just after 1 year. And we all know very well that in India every government changes after 5 years. It means they have a tenure of 5 years in which they have to serve the nation. But if the government fails to fulfill their duties, or if the government take any sort of wrong decisions against the people, or which is not benefited for the people or the citizens of the country, over there the people can put the government back to the home and elect the new representatives group who form a new government inside their country. Next is democracy disperses power more widely. Now what does it mean? It means that democracy evaluates or power sharing procedures are going on. It means that every person is given authority to perform some functions. As just take an example of your school. Chairman sir is performing some other task for the college and the school. Director ma'am is taking another sort of work which she is performing on her own basis. Principal sir is doing some other sort of work, taking the guardianship of the whole school, taking care of the children, taking care of the teachers and everyone. So over there he is performing something other task where the duties is divided. Now coming to the teachers, what the teacher's responsibility is to take care of the kids, to provide good education. So over here what is actually being done? It means the power sharing is being done. The duties are being distributed, and it is not being distributed within only one or two criteria, one or two limitation of the people. No, it is being done widely. It means, see, you're not having 1, 2, 3 teachers in your school. You're having numerous teachers over in your school. Quantity can be different, it can be extended, it can be less. But individually, every teacher is appointed for every particular subject. It means that every teacher, whoever been appointed, is going to perform some other task or have some power to perform. And in that case, what is the main performing or duty of the teacher will be? To give you a better education. So in this scenario, checking the work of every person, taking care of every person becomes easy. So this usually happens only in a democratic form of government when we are studying. Next is democracy encourages popular participation. Yes students, democracy definitely encourages popular participation. How it encourages popular participation? Because over here, if any person is telling that yes, I want to become a leader, or this step we can take for further for a better development, over there the government listens. The government honestly listens for that. And why do the government listen? Because it is betterment for the kids. And what in that case what happens? How usually it happens? See, if we want, I'm just giving an example of women's bill. I hope you have heard about women's bill. Women's bill where the reservation was being given especially for the women in the government sector and other scenarios also. And in that case, the women bill was usually being passed by one state in the legislative assembly. Now as imagine in the Rajasthan, we are having one legislative assembly. Now over there, the representatives, people demanded for the women's bill. The representatives heard about that, and they had a meeting in the legislative assembly, and they said that as per on the requirement of the people, they want women's bill. They want some good and better upliftment for the women especially. So in that case, so what is actually going to happen? Obviously the assembly will be held. Now when the assembly will be held, the internally voting will be done. Now in that case, if the women bill is passed over there in the legislative assembly, the people agree with that, that these judgment is being passed towards directly to the president. Now if the president feels that yes, this is very good and this is something betterment for the whole of the nation, so he used to discuss all this with the speaker of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Now in that case, Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha members or the speakers, they all decide to sit with each other in a parliament meetings and over there discuss on that bill. And after taking the decisions and after taking all the individual votes of the parliament members of both Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, the president takes the step to make this bill passed. And as he signed that bill, the bill is being regulated or takes a form of a rule inside the country, which is being followed by every individual citizen of this country. So over here, all the popular participation and how again the popular participation is coming here, because one person said this, another person came forward, then third and fourth, and so many in a quantity. It became in a famous manner. Why in a popular manner? Because everyone liked the same thing. So as another example, we can have the good education. Previously we were using duster and a chalk while teaching the kids, but now we are using new technology. Over here, every individual teacher is taking participation over there. So what had happened now? It became a popular participation among the democracy. And why in the democracy only it is possible? Because we have some particular rights to live happily and live as per our own requirements. Next is promotes debate culture. Yes, obviously it promotes debate culture. You know what is the meaning of debate is? Debate is where there two parties are there or the two people are there. One is speaking in the favor of the topic and another person is speaking against that topic. It means both negative and the positive aspects are in front of us. So over here, democracy also promotes a debate culture on every topic. Whatever the discussions we used to have in the parliament, 90% people, if 50% people are in agreed, 50% usually goes for the negative sector, they don't agree. And many times it happens that 100% of the political parties, representatives of various political parties, they agree with the someone main topic and they agree with the type of the work done by the government. Next, peace and harmony. Obviously, when we are going to live as per our requirements, we are doing our job as per our requirements. So in that case, what we will do? If our parents are giving us a good facility, if the parents are providing us a good education, will you live in a very congested manner, or you will be living in a very fighting manner, arguing with each other? No, I don't hope so. Over there, what you will do? Over there, you will make the people, or you will live your life very happily. Why happily? Because something is being done. Everything you got. Your parents give you good education. Your parents are providing you with good food. Obviously, you will not get frustrated. And even in the school also, if the school is providing you good education, the teachers are teaching you very nicely to make you understand the content of the chapter. What will happen over there? Obviously, you are going to read and study in a peaceful and a harmony environment. Next is, it is open for change. Yes, obviously, it is open for change. What does a change means over here? Here, as if the people don't like the work of the government, they can simply make it change and make another party to rule the government very easily. Next is transparency in decision making. Yes, obviously, in the transparency, how the transparency comes over here, because whatever the decision is being taken, it is being revealed in front of the citizens of the country that these decisions we are taking, because whatever the discussion is being taken, it is taken in the parliament only, and when in the parliament only the decision is taken, every representatives whom we have elected are taking part on behalf of us. So as on behalf of us, imagine if on behalf of me any other teacher is coming and teaching you SST, obviously in the next day I will get the information ki ma'am, I have taught this sort of subject to the students, you have to continue further. So in that, how did I came to know? Because that teacher was being appointed by my same school. Okay, she is my colleague over here. Obviously, it is going to help me. Same like here in the democracy, whoever the representatives we are electing, they used to inform the people or the citizens of their own area that this sort of discussion is being, because as it is going to be good for your future. So usually the decision making done in the parliament or whatever the decision is being taken under the parliament sector and the meetings and all, it is totally transparent. And the most important thing, have you ever recognized whenever we are having the meetings related to the budget or any other sector in the news, the live telecast is also being done to make the people aware that whatever they are going or they are saying, you can easily see live and make the people aware about it, that what actually they want to perform and how they want to perform in that scenario. Continuing with the importance of democracy, we have the next point is equality. As you all know, the democracy provides equality to every citizen. It means there is no differentiation or discrimination can be done on the basis of caste, religion, creed, sex, or any other criteria. Over there, every individual citizen, whether it's a male or female or any child, is going to get utilize all the fundamental rights and duties whatever been decided in the Constitution of India. There will be an equal judgment given. Now equality over here, it also means regarding the punishments also. You know what, students, I am just giving you a normal example. If I killed one student, if I killed any other person just to taking a revenge, and in that case what the judge will take the step against me, he will punish me. He can send me against us behind the bars, or he can give me the punishment of execution. It means he said I'll be hanged till death. Now the same thing it is being done by any of the main celebrity. In that case, what is going to happen? In that case, obviously, that person is going to avail the same punishment as I availed. Why as the same? In spite of being celebrity, because in front of the law, no one stands in any stage or any other criteria. They all are equal in front of the law. No one is superior, no one is inferior. Now, have you heard about Sanjay Dutt? Sanjay Dutt did a small crime. He kept weapons at his home illegally, which was usually being used by the terrorists. Now in that case, what happened? Several times he was sent behind the bars, and finally he completed all his imprisonment and came out. So why Sanjay Dutt is not a normal person? He was a son of a celebrity. He was a great celebrity of Bollywood, but in spite of that, judgment is totally being judged as per the criteria of the Constitution, not on the basis of their position, wealth and power. Next point is responsible government. Yes, over there the government is totally being responsible, or they are being made responsible to take care of the citizen. As you all know, we are going and facing the problem of corona disease. Now over here, whatever the steps are being taken by the government for protecting us, this is all shows the responsibility and how oftenly and very so nicely they are performing this function. This is actually called taking or making the responsible government for everything. If something goes wrong with us, obviously we make the responsible to the government. For example, I'm just saying that what happens when you all just don't do in the good in exams. What usually the student used to do, they make the because of the teacher, she didn't explain us nicely, so we got failed, and that is the reason we didn't got the good marks. You made the responsible directly to the teachers or the school management. Now over here, the responsibility of the government is like that only. Whatever the wrong thing happened, the people used to criticize the work of the government. So government has to make and has to follow the procedure very cunningly and very nicely, and they have to serve the nation very good. Now next is part 2, everyone. Over here, what does it mean? As we all know, we are utilizing the services, or we can enjoy our fundamental rights and duties. Now these fundamental rights and duties are those things which every person is enjoying. So it means every person is being given some power in hand. We are able to speak, we are able to get good education, we are able to get a good living style. No one can stop or interfere over here. We all are equal in front of the law. For that, we have to perform some duties. So obviously, these are the powers given to all the public. Got the point now? Next is freedom of speech. This is already clear to you that yes, whatever is things going right, we are able to give it nice speech for them. We are able to give them a freely speech. We can speak about that, and we can speak, yes, this is right, this is wrong, whatever you want to do, this is are the things that you should be performed well. These are the functions of the government which is not wrong. So in that manner you have to change these procedure and you have to work according to that. This is called freedom of speech. Next is human rights. Human rights means over here where we cannot harass any person more and more according to their capability. If I am able to teach you 8 hours, it may be possible that another teacher is not able to teach you 8 hours. For that, what the school cannot force anyone that no, as being a teacher you have to continuously you have to teach for 8 hours, for 10 hours you have to do the work. No, they cannot do. That is comes in the human rights. Whatever the wages the people are getting, they used to get as per their capability and as per their position. It cannot be possible that the person who is been appointed as a manager is getting a salary of a servant or of a small clerk, but he is performing the function of a manager, working for a longer period of duration, doing the overtime also. It cannot happen with them. These are the policies which are against the human rights. So human rights is actually being the rights which is being enjoyed by every human being. That as being a human being, we are being told to perform some special work, and we will perform that work. In comparison to that work or in against of that work, we are going to get the wages or the said to be the salary. And including that, no one can overforce us or dominate us for performing any unlawful work by them. We are not going to follow any such rules or policies which are against the laws of the Constitution, or which are the laws or against the laws of the India government or any democratic government. So this was actually were the importance of democracy. So in the democracy, the importance of democracy, what actually you learn with? In the democracy, you learn that every person has a right to criticize the government. Okay. every person has a right to make the political power or the political leaders also very nicely. They can inherit them, okay, they can supreme them, they can take control of them, they can stop them for performing or misusing their powers. Next was that the democracy, the minorities are also being prevented, okay, they are being made safe and secure by which they can live a good life. Next, democracy also protects the freedom. Democracy, how it protects the freedom? Because every individual person is enjoying their freedom on their own aspect and no one can interfere in between them. Now, democracy also provides us a good debate culture. Debate culture means person, as every coin has a head and a tail, same like here, every person has some different opinion. So every person has a right to speak by which every individual opinion is coming in front of us. So over here we are going to take a good decision while performing any particular task. Now same, it is open for a change. If we are not getting the government doing work properly for us, we can change the government and by conducting a new election or demanding for the new election. There is a total transparency in the decision making, where whatever the judgment is being taken by your representatives or by the government, they are being totally transparent, because we are able to see all those decisions live on with the help of information technology. Okay, it also used to make the distribute the powers very nicely. Okay, now next word that is equality. This is also clear to you all. Responsible government, obviously the government is made responsible for each and every task of work, whatever they are performing. They have to take care of the citizens very well. Next is the power to everyone with the help of fundamental rights and duties. Freedom of speech, where they can speak and they can criticize to any work which they think and feel is wrong. Human rights, no one can harass or no one can dominate any other person without any reason for performing any other special task or any other task which is not good for their health. For example, I can say I cannot force a small child to do the household work for me. Why so? Because this is against the human rights policies. A child is not allowed to do any sort of heavy work. This is the right. What is the right of a child is? The right of the child is to avail good education. So obviously the child will avail the good education. That is called the human rights.